Hey, alright, so I'm going to go over some of the basic knots that you'll be using a lot, and then just showing you all how I practice prior to going. So I just bought some like rope from Home Depot, then got some small like inch wood pieces. Just got a couple of those. Practice making lashings, and then this is, in all reality, what you'll be using the entire time. This is a small piece that broke off and I left in one of my pockets. But you'll be using this. Obviously, it'll be a lot longer than this little broken off piece, but you'll be using these. And then you will have some rope, but for the majority of all your lashings, you'll be using something more like this. But you can still practice with the ropes, and that'll help you out a lot. But first, what I'm going to show you is a water knot with these, because anytime you're using lashing, you're going to have to like attach like 2 or 3 of these together. So show you how to do a water knot. So what you do, just make your basic kind of like open knot, and then what you do is you take your other one. I'm just going to use the other end of this, and then you're just going to follow it along. So if you put it on top, you're just going to feed that through, making sure you follow it all the way around. And then going to come through like that. And this is what your water knot's going to look like. Obviously, it's going to be going 2 different directions, but that's how you'll be attaching all these together, and which you'll have to do like all the time. You'll always have like 2 or 3 attached together for your lashings, because they're not going to be long enough. But then I'll show you some of like the other basic knots that I practice with on the rope. Let me get it better. All right. So, first, square knot, left over right, bring it around, right over left. It's your square knot. You want it to look like that. Next, your clove hitch. So, what you do, just throw it over, bring it around, go over itself, making that X, and then you bring your end around, and you're going to feed it through the X underneath, like that. And that's your clove hitch. It works either direction you're coming, whether you're going over or if it's coming this way. Go around, over itself, through the X. So that's your clove hitch. Next, your bow line. So what you want, some of that looks like this. Then you'll go around whatever object you're attaching to, or you can just like make a loop. But if you're attaching to something, you'll go through there, feed it through the loop. So come up through the loop, go around your long end, come back, feed it back through your loop. And that is your bow line. And then, but generally you'll want to make that like a lot tighter, so, and feed it back through. And then there you have your bow line. All right, next I'll go over lashings. So there's really only 2 you'll use. Start with the square lashing. So just show you how I practice this. So start off with your clove hitch. then make sure that when you do your clove hitch, you're going straight up. If it's like turned like this, you don't want to be like pulling back on it. You want your clove hitch turned, and then honestly you want a little more slack on that. But you want to be pulling straight up on your clove hitch. If that makes sense. So go around, and right now I'm making a square lashing. Sorry, this is just a awkward way to hold it. But what you want is 3 wraps. Oh, honestly, most of the time you'll only be able to get in 2 wraps, but for practice purposes, get in, or when you can, you want 3 wraps. Making sure that these are as tight as possible, nice and neat. They're not all like crossed over each other. That way they can like stay tight. You want your 3 wraps. And then once you do that, come over, and now you do your fraps. So you have your 3 bars on each side. Then you'll take your rope. Then you'll go around, just circle around. You want at least 2 fraps. Your fraps are more important than your wraps. So, I mean, they're both important, but you get all your money from your fraps, which is what going around this is. So make sure you get that nice and tight. You want at least 2 fraps, and then from there, go ahead and do another clove hitch. Obviously, you're not going to have this much slack. You're not going to have this much rope most of the time, but gotta get that practice in. So do your clove hitch, and then tie off the 2 ends of your clove hitch together. So just when you can, make a square knot. Here, let's see. Most of the times, like, you'll be working with like barely enough, and you'll be using multi-tools to like grab the 2 ends and be able to tighten it up. But then get your square knot in when possible. Just that's a good element of safety. And then here you have your square lashing. So, but what you want to use most of the time is a shear lashing. So you're going to use shear lashing like as much as possible, and then you'll use your square just as your last one. And I'll show you what that looks like. So how you do shear, you want to go ahead and just tie your clove hitch. And then you do these side by side. Getting your 3 full wraps in. So 1, 2, 3. That don't count that one coming off the clove hitch. And then from there, you'll do your fraps. So, and this is where it's very important to get it very, very tight. So get your 2 fraps in. And then just go whatever direction is opposite of this clove hitch. That way you can do the square knot on the end, because you don't want your square knot like coming towards it and then undoing this clove hitch. So then just wrap around this, and then from here from here you can go and do your shear, and you can do your clove hitch afterwards. But so the shear now. Now when you shear it, it's going to be so much tighter. See how this is? You're going to have a lot more strength from a shear lashing. And then it's not going to like slip around as much. And then you're just going to like tie off a clove hitch shear. Now how that works, when you're building something, you're going to get your shear, and then from here, do the same thing here, do another shear. So then both of these are sheared, and then you'd have your like fourth one here, shear that, and then in this corner you tie the square knot. So then you want to shear, 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 and then your very last one you'll tie a square. But like these are important to have because they're going to be a lot stronger. And I'll end it here just to keep it short.